Karachi, Pakistan, a bustling metropolis, found itself grappling with a horrific tragedy on Monday evening. A speeding SUV, recklessly driven, became a weapon, leaving behind a trail of devastation and heartbreak. 2 lives were tragically cut short, and 3 others were left grappling with injuries, their lives forever altered. The accident has sent shockwaves through the city, raising questions about road safety and the urgent need for accountability. The incident unfolded in the blink of an eye, transforming a routine evening into a nightmare. The speeding SUV, a symbol of reckless abandon, collided with 2 motorcycles, turning a normal evening into a scene of chaos and despair. The impact was earth-shattering, leaving behind a trail of destruction and despair. Eyewitnesses watched in horror as the SUV, its momentum unchecked, plowed through the motorcycles, sending them flying through the air. The first motorcycle, carrying 2 young men, was hit with such force that it was dragged several feet before being crushed under the weight of the SUV. The second motorcycle, ridden by a middle-aged man, was thrown a considerable distance, its rider landing with a sickening thud on the hard asphalt. The force of the impact caused the SUV to overturn, its metal frame twisting and groaning under the strain. The vehicle skidded across the road, leaving a trail of debris and shattered glass in its wake. It finally came to a stop on its side, its headlights illuminating the scene of devastation. The air was thick with the smell of gasoline and the acrid stench of burning rubber. The sound of car horns blaring in the distance added to the cacophony of the chaotic scene. As the dust settled, a chilling silence descended upon the scene, broken only by the moans of the injured. Traffic Police Deputy Inspector General Ahmed Nawaz Chima arrived at the scene shortly after the accident. He addressed the media, expressing his deep sorrow over the tragic incident. Chima vowed to ensure a thorough and impartial investigation to bring the perpetrator to justice. He emphasized that speeding and reckless driving are serious offenses that endanger lives and will not be tolerated. Chima's words carried the weight of authority and the promise of justice. He stood amidst the wreckage, the flashing lights of police cars illuminating the grim scene. His expression was somber, reflecting the gravity of the situation. The police cordoned off the area, securing the crash site to preserve evidence. Investigating officers meticulously documented the scene, taking photographs, measurements, and collecting witness testimonies. The mangled remains of the motorcycles and the overturned SUV painted a grim picture of the reckless disregard for human life that had led to the tragedy. The police were determined to piece together the sequence of events leading up to the accident. They would examine CCTV footage, analyze skid marks, and interview witnesses to create a comprehensive account of the incident. The goal was to build a strong case against the driver of the SUV, ensuring that justice was served. Section 4. Victims of the crash, lives lost and shattered. Tragically, 2 individuals lost their lives in the accident. The 2 young men on the first motorcycle, identified as 22-year-old Hamza and 24-year-old Faizan, were killed instantly upon impact. Their bodies were taken to the Jinnah Postgraduate Medical Center for post-mortem examinations. The rider of the second motorcycle, 45-year-old Salim, sustained serious injuries and was rushed to the same hospital in critical condition. His family anxiously awaited news of his condition, clinging to hope while bracing themselves for the worst. 2 other individuals, pedestrians who were walking along the sidewalk when the SUV veered out of control, were also injured. They were identified as 30-year-old Aisha and 28-year-old Bilal. Both were treated for their injuries at a local hospital and were listed in stable condition. The victims' families were left to grapple with the sudden and devastating loss of their loved ones. The pain and grief were palpable as they gathered at the hospital, their faces etched with sorrow and disbelief. The tragedy served as a stark reminder of the fragility of life and the devastating consequences of reckless driving. Section 5. Justice sought. The legal proceedings begin. In the aftermath of the accident, the police swiftly took action, registering a First Information Report, or FIR, against the driver of the SUV. The FIR, a crucial legal document, was filed based on the available evidence, eyewitness accounts, and the initial police investigation. The driver, identified as 28-year-old Shahzaib, was immediately arrested at the scene of the accident. He was taken into police custody, where he underwent a medical examination and was questioned by investigators. The police were determined to build a strong case against him, ensuring that he was held accountable for his actions. As the investigation progressed, the police focused on gathering evidence to support the charges against Shahzaib. They obtained CCTV footage from nearby businesses, which captured the moments leading up to the accident. The footage showed the SUV speeding down the road, weaving through traffic, and ultimately colliding with the motorcycles. The police also interviewed witnesses who had witnessed the horrific incident. Their testimonies provided valuable insights into the events leading up to, during, and after the accident. This evidence, combined with the medical reports and the driver's statement, formed the basis of the case against Shahzaib. Section 6. Behind bars. The suspect's condition. Shahzaib, the driver of the SUV, was taken into police custody and remanded to judicial custody by the court. He was denied bail and sent to prison, where he awaited trial for his alleged crimes. The court's decision reflected the severity of the charges against him and the public outcry for justice. However, Shahzaib's physical and mental condition became a point of contention during the legal proceedings. His legal team argued that he was suffering from underlying health issues that required specialized medical attention. They claimed that he was not in a fit state to be held in prison and requested that he be shifted to a hospital for treatment. The court, after reviewing the medical reports and hearing arguments from both sides, ordered that Shahzaib be transferred to a government hospital for a comprehensive medical evaluation. This decision was made to ensure that he received the necessary medical care, while also guaranteeing that he remained under legal custody. The medical evaluation was intended to determine the extent of Shahzaib's health issues and whether his condition warranted special treatment or accommodations during the trial. The court's decision aimed to balance the need for justice with the defendant's right to adequate health care. Section 7. A city mourns, awaiting answers. The tragic accident sent shockwaves through Karachi, leaving the city in mourning and demanding justice for the victims. The incident served as a stark reminder of the dangers of reckless driving and the urgent need for stricter enforcement of traffic laws. The families of the deceased were left to grapple with the unbearable pain of their loss. Hamza and Faizan, the two young men killed instantly in the accident, were laid to rest in emotional funeral ceremonies attended by family, friends, and a community united in grief. Salim, the rider of the second motorcycle, remained in critical condition at the hospital, his family clinging to hope while bracing for the worst. The other injured individuals, Aisha and Bilal, were recovering from their injuries, both physically and emotionally scarred by the traumatic experience. As the investigation continued, the city awaited answers. The police were determined to build a strong case against Shahzaib, ensuring that he was held accountable for his actions. The court's decision to deny him bail and order a medical evaluation demonstrated the seriousness with which the case was being treated.